Today's challenge, a very demanding long-haired Dachshund, whose relentless gnawing and tugging of clothes
I've pretty much reached my limit.
and deafening din
It's so loud.
are making his owner's life
Tiggy will bark at anything.
a total misery.
If I had to give him up, that would be the worst thing that could ever happen.
In busy South London, 34-year-old Amy shares her flat with Tiggy, a 15-month-old long-haired Dachshund. Just over a year ago, she adopted Tiggy when he was a puppy after dog-sitting him while his owner was on holiday.
The owner came back, decided he was too barky, too anxious, and said she didn't want him anymore, so gave me the decision of either buying him or she would sell him. So I almost felt I didn't really have a choice.
And that's when Amy's problems began. Tearaway Tiggy can't stop making a big noise in the local community.
He'll bark at like the air, he'll bark at anything that looks a bit suspicious. Half the time he's just barking at something and I don't even know what it is, don't even know how to manage it.
And this demanding Dachshund isn't just a handful when they hit the streets. He's a real menace back home too.
When I have a visitor in this flat, he will bite onto their clothes, literally won't let go. He sees like new people as a giant chew toy, so he just constantly just chew at them.
Getting Tiggy turned Amy's life upside down.
I've pretty much adjusted my whole life for him. I've changed my job, I've moved closer to home. I was much more outgoing, much more independent, and I was definitely going on a lot more holidays. So I think I've had to sort of sacrifice areas of my life to accommodate him.
And she's made substantial efforts to change his rambunctious ways.
No, Tiggy, no!
I've tried so many trainers, so many behaviourists. I've pretty much reached my limits. If I had to give him up, that would be the worst thing that could ever happen.
Step forward, Victoria Stilwell, an accomplished dog trainer who's hoping to succeed where others have failed.
You don't have to live in the countryside to give a dog a satisfying life. Many people do very well having dogs in flats and busy urban areas. And breeds like the Dachshund can make the perfect pet. However, what some people don't take into consideration is that with small breeds, sometimes comes very big noise.
Originally bred for hunting, the Dachshund's high stamina and low profile made it ideal for chasing animals down burrows. What they lack in stature, they more than make up for in personality, intelligence, and loyalty. Dachshunds are normally devoted companions, but if not well socialized at an early age, their boundless energy can manifest in willful behavior and noisy barking. Before Victoria gets the lowdown on this demanding Dachshund, she needs to get up to Amy's high-rise apartment.
Hello! Hi! Hello, you. Nice to meet you. I'm Victoria, and this is...
Tiggy.
Tiggy. All right. Hello. Okay, so... Hi.
Excitable Tiggy has a most unsavoury way of greeting guests.
Oh, he's doing humping.
He does
Interesting.
humpies.
Okay.
The next big thing is jumping and tugging at clothes for any new visitors.
Oh.
So, and that's a really big issue, indoors especially. The other part is his reactivity outside to
Okay.
dogs, not just dogs.
Oh, he's doing a little nibbles now.
Yes, yeah, all on the clothes, not the skin, luckily, just the clothes.
Yeah. So any visitor that comes in, he does this
And
too.
especially children, I can't stop him.
Right.
So far, Amy's been unable to control Tiggy's compulsions, but Victoria has a special vocal technique she can use. And it halts him in his tracks.
Thank you. Okay.
That solved it.
Victoria's high-pitched yelp disarms Tiggy. Unfortunately, the effect doesn't last long.
So outside, you say that he is very reactive on the lead.
Very reactive.
outside
So
to everything.
if he's with me, he's okay at the start. It takes something or like someone to trigger him. So if it's a dog, he'll start reacting to everything like 10 times more.
Okay.
There's no way for me to calm him down.
Victoria's seen enough, and before her clothes get ruined, it's time for a change of scene.
Come on then,
Let's go.
mister.
Now Victoria wants to observe how Tiggy reacts when they walk around the noisy neighbourhood.
There's no dogs around. He's just barking.
Is he always straining or does he walk quite well with you?
He walks like quite well. He's not always like this. He's
Yeah,
never
because
like
he wants
this.
to be
It's
with
because
them.
there are people around.
And walking Tiggy in such a busy place comes with unwanted consequences.
Kids that'll bark back at him.
It's not fun when people are barking at your dog, you
Yeah.
know, and they do, yeah, they think it's funny.
And people will, like, almost, I feel like they are judging me as well because he barks, saying, this girl hasn't trained him. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, you have no idea. I've invested
Yeah.
so much in training.
Right,
But
yeah.
I know, Tiggy, I know.
He's definitely got something to say, doesn't he?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let us just, let,
Are you done?
all right. Okay, I've seen enough. Let's go back home, okay? Come on, baby, let's go. Shall we go?
Observations over, Victoria's keen to give her verdict on Tiggy's challenging behaviour.
When did you first notice this gnawing at people?
That first started when he was a puppy, and now he just tugs on at every person's clothes.
Living with humans has been so amazing for dogs. It's made them a very successful species, right? But in the other way, confinement has caused so many issues. His grabbing onto people is fulfilling a need,
Yeah.
right? And his need for chewing and for interaction and for play and for connection. I do feel like he has a difficulty with connection,
Yeah.
and it's one of the ways he connects. He's relentless until eventually you either have to clap or you have to squeal or you have to go, no.
Yeah.
But the need to do this is what I want to focus on.
Yeah.
His behavior outside. Very interesting. Dogs react when they see other dogs. It's pretty normal, but he's barking at everything, but not one specific thing. And you know, Dachshunds have such incredible senses. They're very sensitive. But I also think there's frustration in it too. His barking. And so there's that mixture
Yeah.
of a bit of overwhelm, and I'm frustrated. But I stop behaviors by adding other behaviors.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do for him. Because all of that energy's got to go somewhere, but we have to give him outlets.
Yeah.
All right? Hopefully I'll give you some tips on how to, you know, how to make him a bit more comfortable and less frustrated outside.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
And I know you'll do the work because you've done a lot of work already, which is good.
The moment where she sort of like squealed and he sort of like stood in shock, that was quite interesting because I don't think I've ever seen anyone like do that before. So I'm curious to see like what else she might do or what other interesting things that she might have that I've never come across.
I think Tiggy finds this environment really overwhelming, and continual exposure to it is not helping him. I think this is going to be a really difficult case.
In hectic South London, Victoria's helping Amy and her demanding Dachshund, Tiggy. She wants to make their walkies a much less stressful experience, and a peaceful tree-lined street a short distance from the hustle and bustle of their home turf makes the perfect place to start.
He is so much quieter when he has grass around him, when he has trees that he can do stuff with. So for example, if I make this a sort of tree station whereby, oh, he comes here and he gets a little scenting game, brilliant.
These tree stations, as Victoria calls them, are mentally enriching for Tiggy. All this sniffing and playing should help him cope with the stress of city living.
I sort of use trees like this, markers, to be different stations for different things to happen. So when we get here, this means that, oh, we're gonna have a really fun game of scenting out this food on the ground. Oh yeah, isn't that good? So he's using that Dachshund nose. The next tree, he can have a snuffle mat.
Yeah.
So that there are stations along the walk where he can anchor himself to and go, oh, I know what's gonna happen here. Yeah. This is predictable.
Hopefully, in time, Tiggy will become less affected by the busy local environment. And the park where Amy regularly walks him isn't exactly a haven of tranquility either.
There's so much that's frustrating him and irritating him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people, there's bicycles, there's children. This dog needs to... Do you want to move to the countryside?
If only.
What's happening with this exposure is the fact that he's getting triggered again and again and again and again and again. It's called trigger stacking. You have a dog who you cannot let up for 1 second when you're outside, and it is exhausting.
Yeah.
But it's also exhausting for him.
Yes.
So, I think he needs less exercise.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think you need to be bringing him out here twice a day.
Fewer walks may seem counterintuitive, but a trek in the park isn't the only way to get exercise and enrichment. Learning new skills, doing scent games and food puzzles, all give dogs a mental workout that can make them feel equally as enriched as the noisy outdoor alternative. So if things get hairy, don't be afraid to switch it up and let your four-legged friend burn off steam in a way that's comfortable for them. Fewer walks are Victoria's answer to Tiggy's outdoor issues, and she also has ideas to help divert him from his problem with visitors' clothing.
You don't have many visitors around here, so when you do have visitors around, oh my gosh, the best thing since sliced bread, and they are perfect chew toys. They're fabulous to play with, and he doesn't know when to stop. So, a couple of tips for you. When you know you're going to have somebody around, then do some sort of brain games with him before they come.
Yeah.
So I want to just show you the cup game. So this really tests the dog's cognitive skill and, again, gets them thinking. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a treat under this cup, and I want him to work out how to get the treat out. Let's see if he can do it again. Oh, you are so good. Look at that.
I know it.
Ew. All right.
With Tiggy knowing there's a treat in it for him, the game can begin.
I'm going to put 2 cups down. And I'm going to put a treat under there. What? There's a treat there? What happened? No? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Getting Tiggy to figure out which cup holds the treat engages his brain and expends lots of energy. Playing this game before guests arrive should help make him more relaxed when they eventually turn up.
Figure it out. Ah, well done.
Demo over, it's time for Amy to practice the cup game with Tiggy.
Okay, so you're going to give him a very clear cue.
To stay in charge and help control Tiggy's impulses, Amy has to give him a cue to find the treat.
All right, go.
Tiggy, find it. Find it. Come on, find it.
There you go.
Yeah, tell him that's what you want to do. Just tell him once and don't help him unless it goes underneath.
Boy.
You got it. Good boy. So this is one of the games you can make it harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. You can add more cups. You can start hiding them around.
Yeah.
So then you send him on a treasure hunt. So he really has to go find this, okay?
Yes.
That's a really great game. This happens before your guests come.
Yeah.
It's not Victoria's only idea for keeping Tiggy's mind occupied when Amy's friends visit.
Crunchies, crunchies, squeakies. Oh.
A new noisy toy makes for a fun-filled distraction.
I don't want to rile him up too much when you've got people here, so no real vigorous games. But you can make it a bit more interesting. And that shaking's fine.
Yeah.
I'd rather he do that on that rather than on somebody's legs. So why don't you have a play with him? Oh, yeah, I know, Mom. Let him have it again, let him win. Yes, we want him to be successful. Good boy. And once these are done, they get put away. So they always retain their value.
While Amy gives the game another go, Victoria tests Tiggy by pretending to be a house guest.
I'm going to sit on your sofa because last time I sat on the sofa and he wouldn't let me sit on the sofa without humping me. Here we go. Use that toy. Good. Well done.
Now Victoria wants to see if Tiggy is tempted to tug on her sleeve.
Now I'm being really bad. I'm going to flap this. You just play with him. That's much better. Good. Well done. And from now on, I want all of the play to happen down there. No play to happen up here.
Yeah.
This is not playtime, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're done and you're tired and you just want to be with your guests, he can have a little bit of rest time in his crate with a toy there that he can chew on. And then he'll sleep a bit and you'll have a much better time with your guests. Okay?
Yeah.
Training over, there's time for some final words of encouragement from Victoria.
When I first came here and saw what Tiggy did outside, I was truly worried for him. And for you, because you live in an urban environment. Very busy, lots of people, lots of dogs, lots of noise, lots of cars, lots of action, and it's overwhelming for him. So, I've given you some ways on how to cope with it outside. Reduce the amount of walks he goes on, so there's not that repeated exposure, because I think that's why he's barking so much. Indoors, that energy that he has and that excitement when people come around has to go somewhere. That's why I've got to keep him engaged. How do you feel now with just a few of these tips in place?
I always thought, I don't think he needs to walk, but I've never really sort of got anyone to sort of like confirm that is the case. So yeah, that gives me like a lot of peace of mind.
Bringing him down, all right?
Brilliant, thank you.
Well done.
It's just nice to have like just additional information that I could, or like tips that I could use along that street. I think it will definitely help me sort of manage that behaviour a lot more. I'm really grateful for the help she's given me today.
Over the following weeks, Amy engages Tiggy with mentally enriching games that help reduce his clothes tugging and general stress.
Tiggy's been doing really well on our walks. I'll make sure I use those like treat stations, so I call them cheese stations, so I'll drop treats along the way. He's so much more happy.
Taking Victoria's advice on board, Amy's been walking Tiggy less frequently. And when they do go out, it's been to quieter green spaces away from the hustle and bustle of the city.
if he doesn't want to walk, that's okay. Like, if he wants to turn back, that's fine. I think it's important to sort of listen to him, and so I've definitely been doing that a lot more. He's happy with like being far away from dogs. He's happy with play dates. So if I can just keep that going, I think like we'll have a very happy life together.
Thanks for watching. If you love It's Me or the Dog and want more dog training tips and tricks, visit my official site positively.com. And if you're interested in learning more about becoming a dog trainer, check out the Victoria Stilwell Academy. Links to both sites are in the description. I'll see you online.